Jake Paul just sidelined after Mike Tyson leaked bizarre training footage. Jake just dropped the bombshell that he's going to pull the plug on this upcoming matchup due to unforeseen circumstances. The baddest man on the planet is back at it again, and this time Paul is ready to quit this fight for good. Yep, the YouTuber turned boxer got pre-fight jitters after watching Iron Mike gearing up for the upcoming fight like a beast, and he's throwing Mike under the bus again. This guy is going to stir himself $1 million lawsuit if he keeps this clownery up. Well, things just got crazier than a flaming shopping cart full of fireworks, so you might really want to stick around for this one. So, news broke out, Jake's pulling out of the highly anticipated Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and it has taken the whole fight world by storm, this matchup. We all thought it was pure entertainment, a publicity stunt. But then, boom, the fight gets signed, sealed, and delivered. The internet went into meltdown. Age versus youth, experience versus internet fame. It was a clash for the ages, or so we thought. I mean, isn't this the same guy who was shouting from the rooftops and begging Mike to fight him? Well, the tables have turned and Paul wants an out. He's been praying for an escape plan all this time, and that sort of thing happens when you see Mike hit the gym. This matchup has been, get this, Mike Tyson isn't your average 58-year-old going to the gym just for the sake of it. We're talking about a former world champion here who likes to stay in shape and keep all that brutal power intact. Don't believe me? Take a look at it yourself. There's no way you can tell that this guy is pushing 60s. Not much has changed since the last time we saw him step into the ring. Tyson's training regime is nothing short of extraordinary. He's still hitting the heavy bag with devastating power, working on his speed bag drills to maintain his lightning-fast reflexes, and shadowboxing to perfect his technique. His footwork remains impeccable, with his signature peekaboo style allowing him to slip and weave through imaginary punches. He's throwing crisp jabs, powerful hooks, and devastating uppercuts with the same intensity he had in his prime. One thing's clear, Mike's not coming to play. Jake was counting on this major age difference to make him come out on top. He was claiming to knock the boxing legend out cold in the ring. Yeah, I had a hard time believing he said this too.
I would win. Serious as a heart attack. I think he thinks that he would knock me out, and I think that is maybe the reason why he doesn't want to do the fight, because I think he wants to avoid maybe knocking me out.
He doesn't realize how good you are.
Exactly.
If he knew, maybe he would.
Maybe the fight would happen.
You think you can knock him out?
Can I ask you a question?
I think there's a very,
that's
very high chance of that. He's not the same fighter that he once was, and he knows that.
When there's a 30-year age difference in the ring, it's not difficult to rule out the old and crusty dude, right? Well, the problem child was in for one hell of a surprise. Mike is anything but old and sluggish. The YouTuber turned boxer was expecting an easy payday with a guaranteed knockout to boost his brand. Now, with this leaked footage, the narrative has flipped. This isn't the over-the-hill Mike everyone thought they were seeing. This is a focused, potentially even enhanced Mike Tyson. Reports claim there's been chaos in Jake Paul's camp ever since the video leaked. Emergency meetings, frantic phone calls, and a whole lot of nervous energy. Everyone's in a frenzy because Jake's good old orchestrated charade is falling out. I'm sure you know that Jake is known for picking old and retired athletes for guaranteed wins. This isn't just an assumption. The proof is in all of Paul's opponents. This man goes after easy money and fail-proof knockouts. Almost all of Paul's opponents are either retired MMA stars or NBA players with no background in boxing. Of course, the youngster in his prime is going to come out on top when he steps into the ring with these guys. Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, Nate Robinson, you name them. Paul thought Mike was going to be just like any other oldie he has fought in the ring, but this guy made a big mistake. He thought Iron Mike would be a walk in the park, a way for him to pad his record against a seasoned professional. But this plan has backfired terribly. Iron Mike is good as new, and he's taking this fight as seriously as a heart attack. Now, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That's a matchup I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams. You can almost think it's a joke or a simple publicity stunt that'll give both athletes a good payday. But no, Mike's just got one goal in his mind, and that's knocking out Jake and ending his career right there in the ring. Mike believes that the problem child needs some humbling in the ring, and let's be honest, Iron Mike's not just any boxer. This guy is the best boxing has ever had to offer. He became the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. Plus, this man has bitten off his ears in the ring before. He's a dangerous man, yet he is still training like a newbie gearing for their pro boxing debut. This is what makes Tyson one of the greatest athletes of our time. Yes, he's got all that boxing IQ intact, but will his body be able to keep up with his mind? Yeah, he looks healthy, but can he endure all those punches in the ring? I know that Father Time doesn't spare anyone, not even the best boxers in the world. But here's the thing, we live in 2024, and it's the era of modern medicine. Modern medicine has made it possible for Mike to tell the universe to slow down a bit. We've got all these different kinds of hormone replacement therapies, and Mike's making full use of it. This was the changing factor for the fight that changed everything. Men don't age the same way they used to decades ago. Joe Rogan, the UFC commentator, has also commented on Mike's hormone replacement therapy leading up to the fight and how. Rogan believes the one factor that could see Mike come out on top was his hormone replacement. Mike Tyson's undergoing hormone replacement therapy has been well documented. Even Joe Rogan has advocated the benefits he's reaped by going through the HRT treatment.
Game changer.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's a different thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
A 57-year-old man today, like Mike Tyson, it's like, that's not a 57-year-old
Bro.
man.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul were initially signed to fight on July 20th at the AT&T Arena, but Jake, being Jake, made this matchup fall into jeopardy. He threw Mike under the bus for it. Yep, the athletes blamed Mike's health hiccup for the fight postponement. The boxing legend had an ulcer flare-up on a cross-country flight from Miami to Los Angeles. I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year. Fans knew that there was another story to this. Mike had confirmed that he was doing all right even after the incident and promised that it wasn't going to affect the matchup, only to release this statement a few days ago. Big fights like this one don't just fall out of the loop like this. Something has to be brewing behind the scenes for the athletes to push it back to November 15th, 2024. Even pushed back to November, Jake isn't looking as happy as he would for finally getting a chance to step into the ring against Mike Tyson. Why did he go to all these lengths to get the athlete to sign if he didn't want to fight him? Well, you know what Paul's known for. He's got a knack for staying in the headlines all the time, and tell me one matchup that'll make more hype than Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Jake and Mike are now set to step into the ring in November, but Paul has just revealed that with the uncertainty of Mike's health, it might never see the light of day. Instead, Paul has found himself a new toy in the ring. Yep, I'm talking about a new opponent. The problem child will be putting up gloves against Mike Perry. If you've been out of the loop and haven't really heard the name Mike Perry before, let me fill you in. Mike's a former UFC guy. Yep, he had an impressive run of 14-8-0 before he decided to test his waters in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And boy, is he a beast in the BKFC. Come on, this guy is an undefeated champion who has knocked out the biggest names in the sport, so Paul will really be up for some challenge in the ring. Perry's a real athlete with some real power, so this fight is going to be a banger. It doesn't matter if the guy wins or loses, his bout with Mike is falling apart and Jake isn't doing anything to save it. He has changed his mind and doesn't want to fight Tyson anymore. Will Jake Paul swallow his pride and face a potentially rejuvenated Mike Tyson? Or will he find a way to permanently sideline himself? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the tension is at an all-time high. The guy already got all the good he was going to get out. You know, all the headlines and the fame, plus having your name next to Mike Tyson is also one hell of a thing to brag about. But get this, Mike isn't going to let Paul off the hook this easily. The YouTuber turned boxer put ink on the contract, so he's not going to get away with this. Mike is threatening Paul with a whopping $300 million lawsuit. Yep, you heard that right. That's a whole lot of money, and Paul has a choice to make. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So there you have it, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. So what are your thoughts on Jake Paul sidelining after Mike Tyson leaked bizarre training footage? Make sure to fill the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news.